Hi, this is Adekyn with Grand Ages Rome campaign mission video Return to Gaul Part 2. At the end of Part 1, we were just finishing up our discussion of how a Julii would play this one, talking about how the theater would give you 100% entertainment sat, so you could basically just center your build around a theater, put your housing inside the radius of the theater, build your religion and food around that, and it would be very easy to get high ratings for all your categories with a Julii. And then, of course, we said you could use the early tax with the popularity to get you some starting funds. So we've talked about, in the first one, we talked about Valerius. Lucii and Julii, and so let's talk about the Ameli. They are, as if you've probably heard me say this in other videos, they're kind of the weak sister, in my opinion, of the whole group. They're really hard to do some of the economic missions because they don't really get any truly good bonuses for economy. They're kind of the warfare family, and this map in particular, what are they going to do? Run out and conquer a village? I don't think so. There aren't any to conquer. So the Ameli are really kind of hamstrung on this one. And they're going to lead me to part of a estates discussion. But for the Ameli, you're pretty much doing what we're doing right here, which is you're going broke all the time, and you're just going to have to play it almost like a vanilla character because on an economic mission, the Ameli don't have a whole lot. They do have some bonuses that can help, obviously, and depending upon how you structure, and if you get the right city bonuses, then of course you can have some help. It's certainly not quite as tough as doing it without any estates or any talents, but Ameli are the tough ones to do these economic missions, obviously. And then the fifth family would be the Flavii. A Flavius basically is a research family, and they sort of, I know when I first started playing the game, I thought they were the weak ones. Thought research, how boring is that? But actually, they're a great family because you can build them up with a lot of research points, and that research can actually turn into denarii. So you could play a mission like this if you had a lot of research coming in to start with a Flavii. You could actually just not research anything. You could just research what you had to, like maybe upgrade a farm or whatever, and it would be very fast. But you could just sit there and not research and get income from your research points, so you would actually be having bonus income right off the bat. That would be one way to play it. Another thing is you get bonuses when you complete research with the Flavii. So the research that you really wanted, you go ahead and do that research and get a bonus in denarii for completing it. So the Flavii are actually one of those kind of sneaky strong families. They don't seem strong when you first look at them, but then when you play them a bit, you realize, wow, they can do a lot. And they're even really great on military missions. Maybe we'll talk about that in some other video, but I think they're just tremendous on military missions. But at any rate, with Flavii, the way you would play this is just come in with your strong research points, do quick research to get quick upgrades on your buildings and what have you, but you'd still have to follow pretty much the same thing we're doing here, which is build out your infrastructure, get that port open so you can eventually import marble, and go ahead and do your builds. Try to build up your community so that you get religion bonuses for income, etc. I mean, it's the same thing we would be doing even with the vanilla character. You just have that the research out there helping you. So the Flavii would be good on this mission. The two, obviously, that would just be great on this mission are the Valerii and the Lucii, because they're really, that's their sweet spot, is an economic mission, and that's what this is. This is a timed, very challenging, almost all, well, it's all economic mission. It's all about building quickly, which is in the Lucii's sweet spot, and overcoming economic challenges, which is of course the Valerii sweet spot. So those are the two strongest ones, obviously, for this type of mission. And so anyway, back to our discussion. Let's talk about a little bit about estates, and the fact that we don't have any estates kind of can tell us, boy, I wish I had this, or I wish I had that. The value of the estates, the more I play the game, the more I realize that for me, the estates that I really want to have are the ones that give me money. Money is money, money, money. If you can get, one that gives you a certain rate of denarii per minute, those are great. Or one that gives you additional starting funds so that you start with more denarii at the beginning of a mission, those are great. You can see how that would help us here if we had some extra money up front, or if our income were higher just because of a talent or a state that we had. So those estates that give you money are great. Estates that give you research points are great. I think people maybe discount them and don't realize how important, like the Library of Alexandria, which gives you 100 research points. What a strong addition that is to your family, because you can just get some of that research done quicker. You can get to Mars faster and have it start making more income for you. You can get Saturn with Avesta and have a higher income from Saturn. All those things you can do so much more quickly with the research. So I like research. I love money. Always have, I guess, and always will. And then of course, one like this, you could certainly see we're having more goods, like stone, marble. Marble's a great one to have if you can get marble from a pardon me, if you can get marble from an estate, that's really useful, because that can be the one that's sort of rare. There are a number of maps you play where, like this one, the only way to get marble is to import it. Well, if you've got an estate bringing it into you, now that problem goes away. So again, I would rate them money, then research, then rare goods like marble and stuff like that. Another one that's good, of course, is getting like clothing and olive oil. And that's another advantage of, like, the Flavi. They can have a talent where their patricians don't even need clothing or olive oil, which is really useful. It makes it much easier to go to patricians. And then, of course, when you're doing patricians, you get the much higher bang for your buck on the religion and the entertainment with inns and taverns, all those kinds of things that you can staff with patricians. So again, back to the states, go with the money, go with the research, go with the goods as the final one. I don't think I've ever really taken recruits as one of those states. You could if you're military minded. I could see where somebody playing online might want to do that to allow them to get an army up more quickly, but I would personally prefer to just be a good quick builder and get to that point where I've got equites down quickly, and you can always build up your recruits by just simply building your infrastructure and building your housing, and what you want to do anyway. And I think one of the keys to being a good player at this game, whether it's single player or multiplayer, is just being able to build quickly and knowing how to get a community going and get another one going and get another one going, and just keep building and just kind of be relentless in building up your map, so that your recruit number continues to rise as you build. So I'm not real big on taking recruits. I do like stone. Stone can be good for military missions, to use tower attacks or to wall in build a fort at a choke point, that kind of thing. So getting some stone. So getting stone and marble would obviously be a good combo of for an estate. So again, estates are money, research, and goods, building materials, that kind of thing. Wouldn't hurt to get goods. I think there's a market in Rome that gives you goods, but again, I like to just build, and if you build enough insulae and you've got tribune of the plebs, you're going to get plenty of goods. So that's kind of my take on the estates and which ones are good, which ones are not. Now this just continues. You can see here where now we've got enough money, we can go out and look for another trade route. We've got this one kind of lousy one with 54 denarii per minute coming in, and we're looking to see if there's anything any better, and we'll end up switching to goods and trading out goods for a while and getting our income up. Our income is starting to get a little better just because we've got more got a couple of temples to Saturn up, but they're still pretty weak. But now we're going to get this third community going and get a third temple, and at that point we're going to have pretty decent, semi-decent income. It's bearable, and and then when we get this new trade route, we'll upgrade the trade and make some more money off that trade route, and that'll allow us to start getting into building an additional pier and having a couple of trade routes going, and starting to import our marble. And once we get to the point where we've got enough income to offset the cost of we've got enough exports to offset the cost of importing the marble, then we can start building the temples to Vesta and Mars, and that's going to boost our income a lot and make each of these communities go up a lot. And then you'll see Saturn bump up and become a real money maker for us, and you'll see Mercury be a real money maker for us, and then our religion is going full tilt, and at that point our economy's in good shape, and then we can just go, and then it becomes just a matter of completing your build. And to do this one, to have all those insulating stuff, the key here is to remember you don't have to have 100% employment. In fact, as long as you stay above 55%, you're okay with employment. So I really toward the end of this mission, I was just if I had a place that had high ratings and had some open land, I threw houses in there. It was just that simple. It didn't worry about are they going to have a job or not. They're going to be happy because they got high religion, high entertainment, high food, and so we just didn't worry about employment, just kept building, because you got to build a lot of houses. And at the very end of this one, I'll even build an artisans market to bump up my goods production, and to make sure that we could get a little bump and produce goods through the artisans market by using up some excess olive oil that I had after I placed an olive oil farm, or an olive farm. So basically that's the whole mission. It's just build quickly, find money any way you can find it. So let's go back and review. Obviously, Valerius and Lucii are great on economic missions. Julii are okay. Flavi are good, not awesome, but very solid. Ameli struggle, probably not a whole lot better than just doing what we're doing here.